Hey you all, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching and welcome to Sophie Mark's Beauty Space. I am so excited to finally be filming here in my new salon and to bring you all on this journey with me. Today's video is all about how I apply my foundations and concealers and mix them and blend them in order to achieve a look on my skin that looks normal for my olive complexion. So if that sounds interesting to you, just keep on watching. So this video is a little bit weird. I debated whether I was gonna do it because I know everybody is just asking me what are foundations that have an olive undertone that work for olive skinned folks? And I wanna make that video, but y'all have to remember that I am one skin tone on the spectrum of light to dark. So that video is gonna have a little bit of a disclaimer on it because of what I just said. But I thought it would be a good idea to start this video with how I just fudge what I have, because not every single complexion product in my collection has an olive undertone. I make it work, you know? So I'm gonna show you how I make it work, and hopefully that will help you out as well. And then I think all we're gonna use to blend today is a small synthetic blending brush. This is an eyeshadow blending brush, but with these synthetic bristles, I actually quite like a brush like this for under eye concealer and around the nose and stuff. And then a cosmetic wedge disposable sponge. So this is pretty much all I'm gonna be using. So actual complexion products that I'm gonna be using are a pink-based concealer. This is the Cover FX Power Play in P Light 2. I'm going to be using a green corrector. This is the Ben Nye Special or Media Pro Special Concealer in GC1, green corrector number 1. I'm also going to be using the Neutrogena Hydro Boost in the shade Natural Beige 60. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is take my Power Play concealer in P Light 2. You could even just do this step with a pink corrector. And I'm gonna apply that directly under my eyes. So this is where we want the pink shade. This is gonna bring a lot of brightness to the under eye area, not only if you choose a shade that's a little bit lighter than your skin tone, but mainly because it has that pink undertone. It's gonna help neutralize any unwanted bluish greenish tones under the eyes. Now what I'm gonna do is take the Neutrogena Hydro Boost. Again, doesn't have to be this product, but it has to be something that's a little bit darker than your skin tone without a distinctive red or yellow undertone. If anything, if it leans a little bit yellow, that's better than it leaning a little bit pink. This happens to be something that for me is a little bit darker than me, but has that really neutral, not yellow, not red undertone. So I'm applying that along the perimeter of my forehead. We're kind of doing a contour with this almost. Actually, that's kind of literally what we're doing. So I'm applying that around the perimeter of my forehead, on the cheekbone area. And then, since I'm wearing my mask most days, that's really all I do. But for the purposes of this video, or hopefully by the time you're watching this, you're vaccinated. So I'm gonna put this along the jawline as well. I'm applying it pretty haphazardly because this is what I do in the morning to get out of the house in 5 minutes, Now what I'm gonna do is take my green corrector shade from Ben Nye. So I'm gonna take my little synthetic blending brush and just load it up with this green corrector. And I'm going to apply this to the center of my forehead, kind of where we're highlighting. And, if you have a darker skin tone than me, then ideally this would be darker. For me, this works as a highlight shade just because of the depth of it or lack thereof. But you might want to mix this in with something that's a darker concealer that has maybe a more yellow base to it if you're darker than me. I hope that makes sense. Let me know down below if you're following, because this makes sense in my makeup artist brain, but I want to make sure that I'm communicating effectively as well. So then I'm gonna put the remainder of this kind of in the triangle of light area, where we would highlight, not directly under the eyes, but under the eyes next to the nostril area. And then I'm gonna bring that around my nose as well because I actually have redness. What I'm going to do now is just blend out everything I have with my wedge sponge. And I'm gonna start in the middle because I'm just gonna use this applicator for all over my face. So I wanna do the light parts first so I don't get too much of the darker parts like mixed into the lighter parts. Okay, and normally I'm working a little bit faster because I'm not talking or like doing a tutorial. So the makeup has set on me. I guess my skin's a little bit drier today and it's a little bit more difficult to blend out. So just work in sections if you find that your makeup sets too quickly. Now I'm gonna take my yellow-based concealer. This one happens to be from Revlon. It's the Photo Ready Candid in the shade 005 Fair. And I am going to put this basically anywhere where I need a little bit more coverage or where product didn't spread. So for me, I'm gonna put a little dot in here because I still feel a little bit dark there. I'm gonna put a little bit around the eyebrows just because I had a little bit of trouble blending there. And then I don't have any product here and you can still see those stripes of the darker colors. So I'm just going to add product there for coverage and blending purposes. Again, this makes sense in my brain, but like, let me know down below if you're understanding. And this yellow-based concealer should be like close to your skin tone, maybe a little bit lighter than your skin tone. And I didn't have any product on my nose, so I'm just putting a little bit there as well, and a little bit around the brows. And once you understand the theory of this, it goes by really, really quickly. Like I said, I do this in just a couple of minutes usually. And I usually blend out this step of the under eyes last, just to let it dehydrate on my skin a little bit so I can get a little bit more coverage out of it. Because the wetter it is, the more it's gonna spread. Whereas if you let it dehydrate a tiny bit, then you can get better coverage. So see like how I have a natural sculpt going on now because I used like highlighting and contour theory for my placement, but I considered the undertone of each product when choosing my placement as well. So, you know, we used pink to brighten under the eyes, we used green to kind of get back to our constitutive skin color in the center of the face, and then we used something very, very neutral around the perimeter of the face to create a really subtle sculpt or contour effect. And then the yellow is always gonna be, well, not always, but yellow is usually gonna be a little bit closer to an olive skin tone than like a pink-based foundation. It's usually gonna look a little bit more natural on you, even though the colors that we wear that look best on us generally are gonna be cool tones. It's really weird. But, you know, if you're kind of in a pinch and you only have pink-based products and yellow-based products, go for the yellow-based products to, you know, to make up your overall base. Okay, and that's pretty much it for like my everyday, like, make it work foundation and concealer routine. I feel like my under eyes look pretty bright. My skin looks really covered. I still have a little bit of a glow to my skin. It's not like too covered and cakey and all of that. And this, again, once you understand the theory of the placement and you kind of get that part down, this ends up being really, really quick, and I don't feel like the color looks weird on me at all, which when you're using one color of foundation, if it's wrong and you're just using it all over, then that's kind of like not ideal and it can look really unnatural. Whereas when you do this application method, it's way more foolproof. I know it feels like it might be a little bit more work, but just try it with the products that you have laying around. Maybe you need to go out and pick up like 1 or 2 more products to achieve this technique, but try it and let me know. Okay, that video like ended up being way too long, so I'm just cutting it off here. And just stay tuned. I filmed some more stuff about like contouring and whatnot, but I'm gonna save that for another video. So I really hope you enjoyed this one. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get notified whenever I upload more content. Thank you all so much for your engagement and comments and everything. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.